Hey, what's up guys? Philip here, bringing you another review. Today we're going to be checking out this keyboard by Logitech. This is the Logitech Ergo K860. So most keyboards out there have a flat design layout, but this keyboard here has a curve that pretty much runs right through the center of the keyboard. And the reason for this curve is that it's a ergonomically designed keyboard. And basically what that means is it's going to help your wrists be in a better position so that it'll help prevent carpal tunnel. And it's also going to help you drastically increase your comfort while sitting at the computer for hours on end while typing. But before we move on more with the comfort and typing experience of the keyboard, let's first take a look at what was included in the box when you receive the package. So the first thing you're going to receive is the keyboard, of course. Then a wireless dongle, which can be connected via USB type A, or if you don't want to use the dongle, you can always connect it using Bluetooth. 2 AAA batteries, which come included with the keyboard, and of course an instruction manual that will show you some of the basics on how to use the keyboard. If we take a look at the design and the build quality of this keyboard, the first thing you're going to notice is the curve that this keyboard has. As I mentioned earlier, this keyboard is going to help you have a more comfortable typing experience. It's going to give you a better posture, it's going to have less strain on your wrists while typing, and it's going to just support your overall typing experience and wrist health in the long run, much better than you would while using a regular flat layout keyboard. On Logitech's website, they say that this keyboard will help prevent wrist strain by 54%, which I kind of noticed right away when I put my wrists on this keyboard. I noticed that my hands felt much more comfortable when using this keyboard over a flat keyboard layout. The only thing that was a little strange to me that I had to get used to with the split layout here was when I press the keys, the B key is kind of on the wrong side of the keyboard for me. I typically, when I write the letter B on the keyboard when I type that, I typically do it with my right hand, but with this keyboard layout, it's on the left side. So that was a little bit weird for me to get used to, but after using the keyboard for a few hours, I got used to it pretty quickly and it felt pretty natural to me. So if we look on the Logitech website, the wrist rest is made of 3 materials. The first layer is a knitted fabric, which is gonna help keep the keyboard clean and sleek looking overall. If you get it dirty, it may not be able to be cleaned too well, which is the only downside with this keyboard because the wrist rest is not detachable, unfortunately. You may have to contact Logitech if this thing gets dirty or ripped up somehow, because I don't know if there's a way to replace it. And then under the fabric material, you have 2 layers of foam, which are gonna help neglect the pressure while your wrists are resting on the keyboard. So if we look under the keyboard, we're gonna see that there are some adjustable legs that have 2 layers. You have a small leg and a big leg on each side of the keyboard. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna prop up the front of the keyboard, which is gonna put your wrists in a different position. Now in terms of the slimness and bulkiness of the keyboard, the overall footprint of the keyboard, like if you just look at it right here, it appears very large, but if you look at it from the side, it's actually quite a slim keyboard. The height of the keyboard is 9 inches, the width is 18 inches, and the depth or thickness goes about 2 inches. If we compare the keyboard to something like the Apple keyboard, you can see that this keyboard is much thinner than the Logitech. The thinness overall is, I would say the Apple keyboard is a little bit thinner, not too much thinner because of this bump right here, but the size, if you just look at it like from the face, you can tell that this is a really large size keyboard. So make sure when you're using this keyboard that you actually have the room on your desk, and also consider your mouse movement. If you always move your mouse close to your keyboard, then this keyboard may get in the way because it is a full-size keyboard. It has the number pad, the function keys, the arrow keys. So now let's talk a little bit about the keys themselves. The keys are not backlit, which is unfortunate considering the high price tag of this keyboard. I would love to have seen at least, some dim lights or something with this keyboard, but that's okay. I guess the alternative solution is you can just have a light on when you're working under low light conditions. And then if you actually inspect the keys themselves, you can see that this is a Mac style layout keyboard. So you have the command and option keys, but you don't have any Windows keys. Unfortunately, this keyboard is not designed for Windows, but it still will work with Windows. You just kind of have to get used to the shortcuts a little bit differently. And the only difference is the command key and the option key. And if we pop the key out of the keyboard, we can see that these are rubber type keys which have a butterfly switch. And now here we're gonna do a little typing test to see what the keyboard actually sounds like. So here's what it sounds like. So you can see it's fairly quiet and the typing experience is pretty much a lot like any keyboard that you'll use that has the rubber key switches. So nothing too special with the typing experience. The real special thing about this keyboard is this curve, of course. So now that we covered a lot about the comfort and the design and build quality of this keyboard, let's talk a little bit about some of the nitty-gritty things of this keyboard. So the first thing to note is that this is a wireless only keyboard, no wired options. So this keyboard is gonna connect via Bluetooth 5.0, or it comes with a small USB-A dongle, which can be packed in the back of the keyboard if you don't want to use it. And if you do want to use it, it's a USB-A dongle which you can connect to your computer via USB. The wireless range of this keyboard has a 33-foot radius range, or 10 meters. The way this keyboard uses power is through 2 AAA batteries. These batteries are gonna last you a long time because this keyboard really takes very little power. The keyboard should last you for about 6 to 12 months depending on your usage. So that's pretty much all year round. This keyboard is going to be good for you before you have to swap the batteries out. And an interesting feature that this keyboard has that Logitech has been pushing on a lot of their keyboards lately is the multi-device switching feature. So if you look at these 3 buttons up here, you can connect up to 3 devices. You can connect your Mac, your Windows, your phone, whatever devices you have that are Bluetooth compatible, you can connect it and switch at the click of a button by pushing these keys at the top. And while we're on the subject of these keys up here, you also have 4 other keys here which can be configured in the software. By default, you're gonna have a calculator, a battery checker, a logout button, and a right click kind of button, which is for accessibility reasons. However, you can modify these in the software and you can make them do whatever you want. But by default, I like to let them do their default thing because I kind of like how the icons kind of match with what function it actually does. So with all that being said, is this keyboard actually worth picking up? Well, that really depends on your needs and what exactly you're looking from a keyboard. And the biggest selling point with this keyboard, of course, is the curvy design, which is gonna give you a more ergonomic and natural typing position. So if you really wanna prevent your wrists from getting worse and worse over time, and getting carpal tunnel potentially, then I would highly recommend this keyboard for that, because I noticed right away when I put my wrists on this keyboard, my wrists felt like they were at ease and there was no pressure being applied at all. However, it does have a little bit of a learning curve. I think after a few days of using it, you're gonna get pretty used to it, but at first it's gonna be a little weird. And if you get this thing and don't like it, don't give up on it right away. Just keep using it for a few more days and see if you actually like it. So with that being said, if you are interested in this keyboard, I'll drop a link down in the description below. And if you wanna know what's happening in the tech world, make sure you guys click that subscribe button and I'll keep you in the loop. Don't forget to like this video and leave your comments down below. Thanks for watching.